So here is 10 more minutes of useless League of Legends information. Also, a lot of you aren't subscribed, so if you could just take a second and poke that red button down there, it would seriously mean so much. Enjoy. This Brazilian streamer by the name of Nick Link is a Jax main who recently climbed from unranked all the way to Masters in a single live stream. It took him 60 hours and 31 minutes of grinding to reach his goal. During that time, he didn't sleep and only took a few occasional breaks to eat or go to the bathroom. After hitting Masters and completing his challenge, he posted this on Twitter. This whole thing is freaking insane. I mean, climbing like that is already hard enough, but doing that on top of no sleeping is kind of unheard of. Moving on, did you know that the person watching this video right now, also known as you, is the best player in League of Legends? Okay, well, maybe not in a 1v1, but if you connect enough dots, you could prove it. All you have to do is go to this website and it will connect a chain of games you've played that proves you've beaten the best. It's kind of like I know this guy, who knows this guy, who knows this guy, who's best friends with this guy, who knows this guy, who knows the Pope. Therefore, I'm pretty much best friends with the Pope. Okay, that was probably the worst analogy ever, but hey, congrats on beating the #1 player in League. And also being friends with the Pope, I guess. And of course, I will post a link in the description to the site. Did you know that Graves still has his cigar in the collections tab, but when you click on him and go to the champion's description, it goes away. The same goes with champion select. At least it still lives on somewhere though. Some of Rakan's skins goes a little too well with others, like Lux, Sivir, Eve, and kind of Jinx. I'm gonna be honest though, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole leg turning into an arm thing though. But it does kind of look like the arm belongs to Jinx, so I don't know. Did you know that the R in League of Legends can sometimes be used to spell out words like Raid Shadow Legends? Jesus, who's also the sponsor of today's video. First off, did you know that Raid is completely free? And free is good. Stuff you have to pay for? Bad. If you don't know, Raid Shadow Legends is probably one of the greatest mobile games of all time. It now has over 600 champions, like orcs for example. Everyone always hates the orcs in games, but in Raid, it's not really their fault since they were created by a dark lord and all. Plus, these dudes were kind of kicked off their land after losing a war. Talk about kicking someone when they're down. Now, every day, they just try and survive and get through the suffering just like us League players. Except one of us lost their homes and one of us just has to play against the Yasuo main. You're right, the Yasuo main is so much worse. Anyways, these orcs actually ended up teaming up with some Queen Elf, and if you want to hear the rest of the story, you can actually play this through their campaign. But dude, check out these orcs. They're like Olaf's long brethren. Kind of. Ish. They do got some pretty sick designs though. However, personally, I am a fan of Astralon, literally a jacked version of Kale. Also, boss fights in Raid are equally as sick. I mean, look at this thing. It's the Infernal Dragon in Raid. Anyways, this is the perfect time to start playing Raid, and if you use my link or scan my QR code here, you'll get an epic champion named Tayrel, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. Sheesh. All these bonuses will be waiting here for you, so make sure to download Raid. All right, back to the video. So, about a month ago now, Tyler1 finally completed his Getting to Challenger in all 5 roles series. The last one he did it with was support, and he did it insanely fast, but how fast did he really do it compared to the other roles? Well, this fast. This is a graph that shows the comparison of Tyler's unranked to challenger climb. It's one thing to say that top lane took longer than support or mid, but when you look at it like this, it's kind of insane. It took him over 5 times the amount of games to hit challenger and top than support, which is just ridiculous. This person made an insane art Vel'Koz skin that must have taken them days to complete. They call it Vel'Kob. And I think my favorite parts has to be the E turning into popcorn and the corn laser that yells corn. I think Riot has finally found their next designer. 2 years ago, some people did an interesting survey asking people how often they played League of Legends. Additionally, they also asked people what they currently do in life, and here were the results. It turns out that the people who play the most daily were those who were unemployed. No surprise there. And the people who played the least daily were the ones with full-time jobs. Also no surprise there. What is kind of interesting is those who were self-employed seem to play the least per week. Everyone must be on that grind, I guess. During the same survey, they also answered some other questions based on toxicity and their competitiveness. It turns out people who played the support role were the least competitive, and those who played jungler were the most competitive. Again, really not surprised on that one. When it comes to the toxicity part, 98% have said they've experienced being flamed, and the other 2% probably just misclicked. And 79% said they were harassed after the game was over. Did you know that Flash on F is objectively better than Flash on D now? The debate is actually finally over because Flash on F actually has a real advantage. Whenever a summoner spell like Teleport is on D, you can use it to stack your tier, but when you have it on F, it doesn't stack for some reason. The same goes with other summoner spells like Ignite or even Exhaust. I guess this is Riot's way of telling people just to put Flash on F. In Earth mode, there's a ton of buffs you receive, which is shown off in a very colorful manner. You got the awesome buff of awesomely awesome buffing, which says a lot of stats, but also says the champion is secretly Nico at the very bottom, and says no manatees were harmed in the making of this mode. You got heal embargo, and you got shield overload that says this unit is a shield that can't handle the sheer amount of awesome. Did you know that during the alpha stages of League of Legends, minions could actually go on killing streaks and get bounties? They would even spawn from the inhibitors instead of the Nexus. This would have been a little crazy to play with, but then again, there's a reason it only lasted through the alpha stages. When you go to the League of Legends match history, it says recent games last 20 played, but it lied to you. It actually shows your last 21 games played. You seriously can't trust anyone these days. Apparently, this is what happens when Urgot and Tom use their ultimates at the same time. By the way, this is a perfect time to remind you that if you have any crazy clips like this or cool info, feel free to send them to outsidejokelol@gmail.com. Did you know that if you spam ping Sejuani's E, nothing will come up in the chat? However, it will still count as a ping, so if you spam it enough times, it will lock you out just like any other spam pinging would do. This person made an entire Jinx portrait by connecting thread together. He said it took him 30 to 40 hours to complete, which honestly isn't that long. Oh, he said he's also been doing it for 2 years. It looks sick though. Before they patched it not too long ago, you could actually steal objectives while inside the Hextech gate. So here's a clip of Mr. Jimmy Bean stealing Baron by doing a Hextech drive-by. A bit over a month ago, Fudge ended up playing Ivern mid in the LCS, and the inspiration behind that pick came from LS and an accident he had in solo queue.
So some things are actually found totally by accident. I think Ivern I talked about was actually found by accident. Someone stole my role in Korean solo queue when I was supposed to be jungle, and so I actually just took Ivern mid, and I thought, actually wait, this didn't feel that bad.
And if you were wondering, they did in fact win the Ivern game. Faker had his 1,000th career game a month ago versus KT, and for it he prepared 400 boxes of barbecue fried chicken for everyone who came to watch the match. Everyone there got to look at the moves, the plays, and the chicken. This is like barely League related, but I thought it was hype. Additionally, someone else also hit their 1,000th competitive career game, and that is Deft. He also holds one of the most legendary win rates for a single champion, and that's his Jinx with a win rate of 87.7%. He also has almost 60 games played on her. What's also insane is the two players who achieved this milestone almost back to back attended the same high school. That must be some high school. I mean, the expectations there must be pretty insane now. Now, if you thought the clip of Urgot from before was crazy, this is ridiculous. First, Ornn ults Urgot, and then Urgot E's right after being hit by the ult. Kinda weird, but nothing crazy. Then Urgot ults Ornn, but at the same time, Sylas comes up and steals Urgot's ultimate, also using Urgot's ultimate on Urgot. Urgot then starts getting drugged towards Sylas while simultaneously dragging Ornn into himself, killing him right before getting killed himself by Sylas. And scene. There's still a glitch in the game that allows you to have 2 maidens spawn from Yorick, and it's ridiculously busted. I don't know how this hasn't gotten patched yet, but dang. Quite entertaining to be on the same team as this, but not so much being on the other side. A long time ago, there was an Easter egg where if you lost with a clone on Howling Abyss, your clone would turn into a Poro with the skin that matched the champion you were using. It worked for all clones like LeBlanc and Shaco. This is the real life version of Lee Sin, and I gotta say the dude nailed the moves. It looks exactly like the animations in the game. A couple days ago, someone posted this on Reddit saying that Ornn was the last top lane tank champion, and it was released in 2017, over 1,600 days ago. And this was Riot's response to this. So it sounds like we could be seeing another tank top laner soon, and maybe a tank Yuumi. Ghost Morgana's recall sound used to be terrifying, and there was even a glitch for a little bit that made the sound global, which made things even worse. I mean, imagine hearing this globally every time Morgana used her recall. That would be a nightmare. This guy made Pyke sounds using only Among Us sounds, and it works almost a little too well. About 2 years ago, there was a group of people that created a League of Legends private server called League of Memories, where you could go back and play on old League of Legends maps with old champions. This was very similar to the Chrono Shift project, if you remember that, but it too got shut down, which honestly is understandable, but it would be cool if Riot made an option one of these days to go back, at least as like a game mode or something. This is what Summoner's Rift would look like if it were a beach. This also brings up the point that it'd be pretty cool if Riot made it so you could have custom map skins like champion skins, very similar to how they have it it for TFT, but for Summoner's Rift. Did you know that the item Shiralia was also named after the Rioter Shiralia, and she was also the designer who created Lux and Pantheon way back in the day? Did you know that the conference rooms at Riot are all named after and sometimes themed after League of Legends champions and regions? I gotta admit, it's a pretty creative touch for them to do this. They got a Xerath room, an Akali room, a Zed room, a Ziggs room, a Talon room, a Veigar room, a Nico room, and they even have some Valorant rooms. Also, apparently they have a room that's always freezing, so they named it the Freljord, and then right below it, they created the Shadow Isles room. With COVID going around, Riot started adding some creative measurements to help keep people safe. They have Runeterra Purify hand sanitizer bottles and a very sad Amumu sign for social distancing. Did you know that you can start a surrender vote immediately after another surrender vote if you just wait until the game ends? Yay for useless info. Did you know there was a period where Earthquake could be bought for 150,000 blue essence? That's quite the bargain. For those who have never jungled in Ultimate Spellbook before, you get an automatic smite, which smites for you, and I've never seen that before, and it's kind of weird. Also, you get 50% less gold from lane minions. There's a YouTuber called Keeps who created a diff video for every role and also a lot of champions as well. Basically, the point of it is just to post a link to them after the game ends, and it can be pretty funny. The best one hands down though is Team Diff. However, with all that being said, I'm still a big fan of the OG crab as well. There's a small glitch where you can type in some of the champions' bios into the search bar and the skin for it will come up, like Astronaut Veigar for instance. If you type in "to their surprise he returned," the skin will pop up. About a year ago now, Malphite, Warwick, Ivern, and Nocturne got new skins in the Elderwood collection. However, they all got renamed to Old God because it was confusing being in the Coven universe. A long time ago, as in 2015, there was a promotion going on in Korea where you could drink Fanta or Coke Zero for free skins. There was only about a 20% chance to win, but hey, that's a lot better than they got in the US, which was nothing. I do remember these types of bottle cap competitions though. I would always try and get a free drink as a kid. And lastly, if you look really carefully at Riot's logo on the client, the letter O in Riot Games kind of looks like a circle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to send your info and clips to outsidejoke@gmail.com, and I will see you next time. Bye. As always, a huge shout out to my tier 3 patrons, Josh, Boo, Stefan, Senzo, Noctak, and James. Thank you guys so much, and a huge shout out to my other patrons as well. Bye.